Welcome back to Rolling Solo and another episode of Masmorra Dungeons of Arcadia, the Alliance mode. And one thing I noticed from the last couple videos when I was taking a look back is that Luke had moved down into the second level here and then moved into the pit trap here and then gone over here. Now, I took the hit for here, but the move to here should have resulted in a hit. An extra hit as well for moving out of a tile with the trap, and the same here. So technically Luke should have been hit twice over the turn. So the only way to really make that count properly is to use a potion, is to use the lesser heal ability that he had on his turn from the way he's actually had it for quite a few turns. So in order to be fair, I'm going to lose this healing potion in order to ensure that he stays at 2 instead of being down to death. So that way we're kind of evened out. But anyway, where we left off at the end of the last episode was Luke had actually finished his turn completely, and he had defeated the boss Kunha, the mummy, and now it's flipped over to its more aggressive side for the next round. And Luke had run out of dice at this point, but Luke does have the ability to leave this room, and he's going to, because at this point he has no reason to stick around, and we know that the next tile coming up from deck is the level 3 room. So Luke is going to use his sprint action to give the abilities, or give him the ability to move again. So he's going to play this because he can play it at any time, and that is going to allow him to leave this room on his last turn, and it's going to send him into the final room. So we finally found Malthus in his throne room, and what we're going to have to do is do a little bit of movement here in terms of the tiles because things have gotten a little bit cluttered. So what's the best way to do this? Maybe what I'll do is I'll take the dice and move it over here. I'm going to take these 3 and bring them over, take these 3 and bring them over like so. And there we go. I think it's good, getting a little clutter on the board. So basically this is the second level, and Luke has stepped out of the second level and into the next room tile, which is the stairs leading down to the third room, and that third room is right here. So he is now moving downstairs into the throne room. So the throne room actually has Malthus sitting here, and how this tile works is as soon as Luke moves down into this room, he enters from the stairwell, and he's coming down the stairs. He's going to gain an XP for moving in there. It automatically says in the rules that it warps or teleports all heroes in the dungeon to those stairs. So at this point we're starting our final epic battle with Malthus, with the 2 of them in there, and then no further spawns are done in any of the other dungeons or any movement. So in level 1 over here, nothing's going to move or spawn, and in level 2, nothing's going to move or spawn. The focus now is just clearly on this last tile. So the things that get thrown into this tile are some cultists. These cultists will sit like so on the board, in all these different positions all around, and the reason is that they're going to essentially be guarding every room. Now this major tile here, the way it works is every single area is like a medium room. So you got a medium room here, medium room here, medium room there, and medium room here. I'm saying a meeting room, a medium room here, and one over here. So there's 5 in total, and we're standing in one of them, and we have to roll dice for each of the ones that have an icon that match a minor or major monster. So we got 2 minors to pick from and pull. So we're going to grab 2. I'm going to roll the first one, and it's another skeleton. And then we're going to roll for this one in our current room, and it's a gargoyle in our current room. And then we need to roll for a major monster. So let's grab something from the major monster bag. And it looks like it's some type of bat that'll be in here. So now we got this whole room full of all kinds of stuff. Now in the very middle, you'll notice there's a watcher, And how the Watcher works is that once there's only one cultist left, that cultist immediately gets replaced with the Watcher, which is a major monster. So essentially we're going to go ahead and kill each of these cultists, and they don't move from their current rooms. They'll stay put. So how this works essentially is Luke's now moved into this room, and he is going to have to, because he moved into this room on his turn, he technically actually has to fight these monsters, and he's not really prepared to do so. But the great thing about Luke is that he always seems to have a trick up his sleeve, and in this case he has the ability to dismiss. So play during his turn, remove all monsters from a single room. So he's going to play this card, he doesn't get any XP from it, but it's going to dismiss every single monster that just got spawned in the room he's in. So just like that, we've already dismissed the first room and completely cleared it perfectly in time, because again, Luke had already used all of his actions and his turn is effectively done. So now at this point, we're going to move on to the next character, which would be Algus. So we're going to take all the dice, pull them all back into the middle here, and this again minus the one watch it play dice that stays on Luke. Luke is also very, very weak at the moment, down at 2 health. He's going to seriously need some health, and maybe there's, maybe something like that will help. I can use that maybe from Algus, the Divine Heal, which allows me to fully heal a hero in your room or adjacent one, right? So I'll probably play that in order to get Luke back up to speed so he doesn't get taken out. So this is the beginning of Algus's turn, and how this works is on Algus's turn, what you have to do, which is a little different, is you have to add a different step into this, into the throne room map. And what ends up happening is there's 2 dice that get rolled for Malthus, and he's going to roll 2 dice. Now, this is going to happen at the start of any turn before the hero phase and before Malthus attacks the heroes. So essentially he's going to roll these 2 dice before we even start anything we do with Algus's turn. So the first dice is going to roll, and what this first dice is going to determine is what type of monster, major or minor, is going to spawn right next to Malthus there in his back corner room. And you can see by the icons there, there's ones that match up to minor and major. So this is going to happen on every turn. And so the first roll is a sword. That means a minor monster, because of the sword symbol, is going to be spawned in that room. So we're going to go ahead and roll. And another gargoyle has appeared in the main room. So now we've got a gargoyle in there, and then the second dice that Malthus does is a dice that determines where he conjures his deadly Grimbolts, and it's a spell that strikes all heroes wherever the icon matches. So these little red icons along each of the rooms, like so, tell you that if you roll that particular die for the second roll that Malthus does, he's going to strike those rooms with a bolt. And so in this case, he's striking the room with magic. Well, guess what? That's exactly the room we're sitting in. So these are unblockable damage that we have to take without any way to stop it. So this takes Luke to 1 and Algus to 2 already before we even start our turn. Now we get to start our turn as normal, and we're going to pull ourselves an evil card. The evil card says Deadly Aura. If any hero ends this turn in the same room as another hero, each hero in that room takes 2 wounds. Wow, so we want to get Algus moving as fast as possible because, based on what we just heard, that's a bad thing. Now, one thing I forgot to do, when Luke had walked into this room, all the monsters in this room had spawned, but what we didn't do was move the monsters. So technically this monster here would have actually moved into the middle of the room, so he'd be waiting for us in the center. But besides that, everyone else would stay put. because this one spawned because of Malthus magic, which was during Algis's turn, and the cultists never move from their room ever. They always stay put. They don't move at all. But another one that would have moved would have been the skeleton. So we would end up having a skeleton and the bat there sitting in the center room. So now we're going to start the turn with Algus, and we're going to see what we can do to get ourselves going here. So we're going to have Algus roll his dice and hope for the best. Let's get rid of some of these reference cards that don't need to be in the way. Hope for the best here. Okay, so we got ourselves a step token, which we already have a free one for Algus over here. But we also have a bow, 3 magic, or 3 potions I should say, I always call those magic, and then a sword and a bow. So on these particular monsters, the skeleton and the, looks like a bat of some type, the skeleton's ability is, he's immune to damage from bow symbols, but potions can be used as range attacks against this monster, and we happen to roll a whole bunch of them. So keeping 2 of those would actually be a wise decision to take one of them down. Once, of course, we move into the room. And so what we're going to do is we're going to... So those are our bow attacks, and then for the what looks to be a bat, I do a quick check over here to see what I have to be concerned about with this creature. The giant bat, he starts combat and he steals a ranged die if available. If not, he steals 1 ranged symbol, and he performs his attack even if he's killed by ranged attacks. So he's going to hit us regardless for 2. Now that's not good because Algus is kind of weak already. So let's take a look at his cards here and see if there's a way we can stop this. Now the funny thing is that Algus also has a mind control or remove all monsters from a single room. So maybe what we'll do is we'll wait to use that till later. And what we're going to do this is a tough decision actually. So if we move in, we can inflict 2 wounds to kill the skeleton with the 2 potions, but for the bat we know he's going to hit us for 2. It won't kill Algus, but I'll get him pretty close, and then we're going to have to generate enough to take this bat out. Now the bat, in order to kill it, is going to need 3, and so far we have 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the sword and the bow because we've got some items here. I mean, we got some ways of potentially getting magic if we need to. We're going to re-roll these 2 dice. We got another bow and another shield. That's perfect. So now we've got ourselves a whole row of possibilities. So let's do our movement token. We're going to send Algus straight into the center here, into the skeleton and the major bat. He's going to dock 2 of these dice, potion dice, to kill the skeleton. So the skeleton is going to die. And then the skeleton is going to... I guess the big question is, and hopefully I didn't forget this already, he's immune to damage from bows. He can use his range. Oh yes, so the potions are used as range, which means he doesn't get to attack back on his 2. So his 2 damage doesn't actually come across and hit Algus. So we're all good there. So that is a clean kill, no payback. And then we're going to go ahead and fight the bat. And the bat is a 2/3. And we're going to use 2 of the... let's see. Well, I guess, yeah, we knew it was going to happen anyway. Let's use 2 of the bows and 1 sword. And that's going to be enough to take out the bat, but the bat actually gets payback, so he's going to knock him down 2. Still alive, but killed both of them. Now, he did manage to clear out the whole room. He still has a shield token. So technically, even though he got hit twice, Algus can actually use this last one to dock in the arcane shield, and that gives him the 2. So those hits actually never occurred. He's completely safe, and he was able to knock both of these guys out. That actually makes Algus go, being these are minor monsters, he's going to get 2 for the first one and 1 for the second one because of the minus 1 XP each. So he's going to go up 1, 2, 3 on the 15 on the counter. These dice go away. And now he's kind of sitting pretty in the middle of the room. We got 1 cultist down. We need to take at least 2 more down. So we're not doing so bad. But one thing he's going to do real quick at the end is he's going to use this ability here, Divine Heal. And it says fully heal a hero in your room or an adjacent room. And he's got Luke the Lucky in the adjacent room. He's going to use this card. That's going to bring Luke from 1 to 6 so that he's not going to get taken out. And I think at that point he's going to call it quits and say that that is his turn. And we also avoided the deadly aura by being in different rooms. So that's perfect. That worked out great. So we're going to discard this card. We're going to move the counter up to 12 now. So we still have to get to 21 for us to lose. So I think we're doing really well so far. And I'm trying to just think if we missed anything. He did kill 2 enemies, so he is going to get 2 treasure cards, which will put him back up to his 6 total he's allowed to have. We got Battle Cry and we got Smack as our 2 new cards for Algus. And again, nothing on these levels 1 or 2 spawns or moves anymore. They're almost in effect out of the game. So I'm just for ease, I'm going to remove them completely off the board because they have no effect now. They're gone. Really, the only thing that has an effect now is just this room. Now, the only other monster in this room during the Dungeon Master phase that can move is the Gargoyle. And he is going to, I believe, I just want to make sure that I don't mess this up. Yeah. So this monster will move into the center room. Right? So he's always going to be a little bit of a pest. And then what's going to happen is there's no spawning of monsters in these specific spots. And of course, I forgot to do this earlier, but it doesn't really matter because it didn't affect gameplay. But there are 4 coins, of course, in these rooms. There's lots of treasure chests and stuff kind of sitting in this throne room to be picked up, which is always a good thing. So that's that, and then in turn, now we basically end the turn, and that is pretty much it for Algus. So that is going to end this episode or part of Masmorra, the Alliance game mode, and we are getting very close to defeating Malthus. And as long as we can continue to use our Alliance cards wisely and our docking abilities correctly, we might actually have a shot at taking him down as long as we don't get stuck or get potentially an evil card that's going to come back to haunt us. And time is always ticking. So join me in the next episode of Rolling Solo. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and you'll be notified of when we throw up another video. So until next time, keep rolling solo.